everybody, here we are back with another edition of Time Stories. The scenario today is Lumen Fidei, which means the light of faith. The year is 1419 AD. I know nothing about this scenario. I have not done anything with the cards or anything except I've removed the box from shrink. So essentially what you get when you get one of these scenarios is not much in terms of unboxing, because you can't unbox anything because the cards of course are the meat and you would go through them as you play. Let's just look at the backstory. 1419 AD. In Spain, the Reconquista is coming to an end. Undertake a diplomatic mission on behalf of the papacy. Well, of course, it is the church. Lumen Fidei is incidentally also the name of one of the encyclicals of the current pope. So let's see what we can do. For those of you who don't know the rules of this game, I'm not going to go through the rules. I'm not going to explain them or anything. You will pick them up as we play because it's not that difficult. For those of you who are planning on playing this and don't want to get any spoilers, stop watching now. Everybody else is welcome to join me. I'm going to play solo using 3 investigators. And here we are, chapter 1, the base. We're going to start playing now. I'm just going to zoom out. And we will be able to unbox this as we play. So it comes with 3. These 2 we will put back in the box because they do not open until instructed to. We've got 2 more chapters, chapter 2 and chapter 3, so they go back in the box. And let's see what this card deck holds. We have the base. Just as you enter the transfer room, all the screens light up. Laura's face appears upon one of them. Hello, agents. Bob seems to be late. Oh my God, he's a time agent and he's late. I mean, that's ridiculous. So let me see how I can do this a little bit better. Yeah, that should do the trick. Bob seems to be late. I'm going to start the briefing without him. As you can see, transfer room 17 is rather special. It contains a quantum reliquary. During your training, you were told that it was impossible to bring back an object from your missions. This is generally the case, but Bob bursts into the room. Thank you, Laura. I'll take over from here. Poor Laura. She was gonna, tell us all about it. So now we're gonna open the base. Bob stares at you and barks. Not in your caissons yet. Come on now, get a move on. The mission. Your receptacles are part of a delegation charged with accompanying Michel d'Ailly, the legate of Pope Martin V. I'm pretty sure that's not the real Pope because there was no Martin. Mission to attend a secret gathering of Christian military orders. Michel Dailly will be your key to infiltrating the religious factions there because, and this is precisely the purpose of your transfer, a strange stone seems to arouse everyone's interest. Your goal is to locate the stone before them and bring it back here. You will also discover the new travel procedure set up by the TTD, Transfer Technical Direction. 10 time units for the first run, 20 for the second, 30 for the third, and the following runs. Be vigilant, it radically changes the course of a mission. Everyone to their stations. Bob leaves the room without further ado. Okay, so that's not good. 10 only, that's gonna be tricky. Base C. Sam the robot lights up. You are going to visit our Earth in 1419. It is the end of the Reconquista in southern Spain. Two religious communities are in opposition during this period of the Middle Ages, Christians and Muslims. From 914, the Christian kingdoms decided to reconquer the Iberian Peninsula that had been taken over by the Muslims. This reconquest ended in 1492, that is only a few decades after your transfer. You can see on the holo screen your arrival location in Aragon. Your receptacles are part of a Christian delegation in Christian territory, and who says Christian says faith. This concept may seem strange to you, but religious faith has been omnipresent in pre-transmigration human history. During this speech, your eyes are drawn to the reliquary. At its center, you notice a greenish, almost organic, spongy matter. It's hard to drag your eyes away. So, first I'm going to show you this card. As you can see, this is the Iberian Peninsula, and you can see Al-Andalus, which is of course the name of the part that was Muslim held, and we're going to go into this place over here, the blue circle. Okay kids, in your caissons, you are running late on the official timing. Here are the details for your receptacles. Characteristics, we've got dexterity, combat, and diplomacy. Diplomacy is the ability to behave correctly, to make a good public impression. Also know that a receptacle can only use one weapon per test during combat. Each receptacle has a special ability. Using it requires to spend one time unit. Using it requires spending one blue token, but no time units are spent. After each run, as soon as a receptacle is chosen, place on them the specified number of blue tokens. Moreover, agents reintegrating their receptacle after dying come back with their maximum number of blue tokens. I'll let you handle the usual last preparations. Off I go to get drained at the red light pub. Concludes Sam before leaving. Now this is the reliquary with a green, spongy, almost organic substance or thing in the middle, just so that you can see too. Let's see. Place. The group's faith table card on Codex 1. Okay. So we have faith table bonus, virtuous, believer, penitent, infidel, heretic. Okay, and if you're a heretic then or an infidel, you lose something. And this icon will be explained later, so we put it on Codex 1. And keep the icon reference special rules card close at hand. Special rules. Let's put this on Codex 2 for the time being. The faith table. The heart token placed on the table at the beginning of the run indicates the group's faith. Some degrees give 1+ or 2+ additional dice on all tests made by the receptacles of the corresponding belief only. Example, the group is pious. Maria can roll 2 additional dice when she makes a test. Okay. Your faith will vary over the course of the adventure. If you get this particular symbol, your marker goes up 1 degree. If you get this particular symbol, it goes down 1 degree. During a test, adjust the degree before the first roll if needed. This modification applies once per test only. When you take an item, adjust the faith immediately if needed. If you discard an item, the degree does not change. Faith can't rise above pious or fall below heretic. Unique locations. Some locations, that looks like a banana, can only be visited once per run. When you leave a location with this icon on card A, put this location away into the box instead of discarding it at the bottom of the deck. Now go back to reading the base F card. I'm just going to put it here. No, we're not even done. The 4 plan cards face up on the allocated spaces. Oh yeah, look at the back of these cards. Aren't they beautiful? I mean, really, really beautiful. Okay, this is top 1. So I'm just going to put it here so that you can see it as well, because it's going to be out of frame later. So that looks like a monastery. If we're really lucky, this is going to be a lot like The Name of the Rose, which is something that I would always have wanted to play. I love the book. The film's crap, but the book's really good. Okay, so we're gonna, at the moment we have the beach and the chapter house as available locations. We're gonna put the plan over here. Very good. Like so. Very, very good. Okay. We put the group token on the beach. This is where we arrive. The mission successful fail cards face down on their allocated spaces. Well, we only have 2 possibilities. We fail or we win. The time token on 10 TU. The item cards on their allocated spaces. Or on the allocated space. Let's see. The case on startup, Laura's final words are fading. Lastly, as part of the transfer procedure of an artifact to the agency, the agents in the immediate vicinity of the stone must apply the XB42T protocol. I hope you reviewed this protocol yesterday as I advised you to. Enjoy your transfer. Well, I missed the memo. Transfer. Each player chooses a receptacle. Don't forget to take its hard tokens and its special ability blue tokens. Determine the group's faith degree. Add the number of Christian faith receptacles and subtract the number of impious. Refer to the table and place 1 hard token on the line of the faith table corresponding to your result. Read out aloud the special rules card. Okay. Then flip the card over and place it on Codex 4 so as to be able to consult the icon reference during your runs. Designate the first time. Oh. Ah. Okay. Designate the first time captain. That player closes the base and puts it next to the board, then opens the beach location. The time captain then reads card A out loud, and so the adventure begins. Okay, so let's look at our receptacles. We have... Whoops, we've got plenty. No, we don't. This is already the location, sorry. We've got Jean de Crayon, Occultist Knight, Noble Spanish Lady, Fabiola de Leon. They are all impious. She looks terrible. I mean, this artwork is ridiculous. Look at this. I mean, this is really not even comic-y anymore. This is just bad. I have to say, I don't like the artwork already on these cards. That wasn't well done. Maria Concepcion, enthusiastic young nun. Johann Krieg, Teutonic Knight, aptly named, because of course his name's John War. Ramon, zealous servant. And lastly, Francisco conscientious secretary. They've got 2 women, 4 men. 3 of them are pious and 3 of them are impious or infidels. So let's just take them one by one, but I'm just going to close the base for a second, put it to the side because it's actually in the way. So we've got Ramon. He's got 2 dexterity, 2 combat and 3 diplomacy. He's got 2 shields, so 2 resistance and 2 hearts and 1 special ability. His special ability is Jumble. Ramon can use the ability of a receptacle or ally on his space. Oh, okay. Ramon speaks all languages to a certain extent. He mixes them into his own Esperanto. Ramon is a servant, always ready to serve, able to manipulate anyone but never for long. Yes, my lord. Arriva pronto subito pour vous servir. Okay. So that's definitely like the guy from The Name of the Rose. What's his name? Salvatore. Here we've got Jean de Crayon, the occultist knight. Dexterity 2, fight 3. His diplomacy is 1. 2 resistance, 3 hearts, 1 special ability. Special ability is powerful slash. Discard 1 token to use this ability. Jean removes a whole pile of shields on his space during a combat test. By God, your ugliness is matched only by your filthy ignorance. A rather colourful infidel, Jean de Crayon, is a rich lord of Anjou in the Kingdom of France. Commoners and bigots earn his contempt. Only scientists, occultists, and very recently Fabiola de Leon find favour in his eyes. So maybe the 2 of them should be matched up. She's also an evil person because she's also infidel. An infidel. Fabiola de Leon, Spanish noble lady, 2 dexterity, 1 combat, 4 diplomacy, 1 resistance, 2 hearts, 2 special ability. Her special ability is Fabiola automatically passes the diplomacy test if we discard 1 of her tokens. When the sun rises, it's for everyone. Even though Fabiola de Leon comes from a big Castilian family, her life in contact with the Moors has taught her tolerance, has taught her their language. I was just going to say, what tolerance? I don't think so. She learned to appreciate the refinement of their customs since the beginning of the trip. Jean de Crayon has a soft spot for her, and Fabiola takes a cunning pleasure in making him languish. She's an evil bitch. Maria Concepcion, enthusiastic young nun. Life is a path of tears which leads up to the light. 3 diplomacy, 2 fight, 1 dexterity, 2 resistance, 2 life, 2 special ability. She's passionate, that's her special ability. Maria galvanizes other receptacles, making combat tests on her space, each of them gaining an additional die during the next combat roll. I actually don't like any things that require investigators to be on the same spot, because that means that you basically lose time. Maria is a devoted young nun who was captured by the Moors and then freed by the Knights of Malta. She has almost mystical visions in which she plays the leading role in driving away the Spanish Moors. Oh, she's a zealot. Enthusiasm doesn't even cover it. Johann Krieg, Teutonic Knight, 1 dexterity, 4 fight, 1 diplomacy, 3 resistance, 4 life points, 1 ability point. His ability is endurance. During a combat test, Johann isn't affected by heart shields. He treats them as normal shields. And he needs to spend it before he rolls the die. His motto is exterminate them all. The proverbial Teutonic Knight Johann is an efficient and pragmatic killing machine. He was dispatched by his order to negotiate the best he could the surrender of fortresses that belonged to the Knights Templar. And Francisco, I should say, 4 dexterity, 1 combat, 2 diplomacy, conscientious secretary, 1 resistance, 2 hearts, 2 ability. His ability is skill. Francisco automatically passes the dexterity test. Francisco is the private secretary of Michel d'Ailly, the papal legate. He only feels comfortable in the company of books or when he studies them. Over time, he has developed a flawless ability to find whatever he seeks in books or in libraries and the luggage of those around him. I'm looking for the new version of the opus In Honorem Sancte Crucis Conditum. Okay, we're going to play with 3 and we want a good mix. So he's very dexterous. So we're going to take him. We're going to take Johann Krieg, the Teutonic Knight, because he's really strong and very good at combat. And we need somebody very good at diplomacy, and that's going to be Fabiola de Leon. And so it begins. We're just going to take our chances. Hopefully this will work out. Let's see if it will work out. So we're going to put Fabiola up there and Johann down here, and then we have our friend Francisco. So Francisco has 4 hearts. Sorry, Francisco has 2 hearts, Johann has 4 hearts, and Fabiola has also 2 hearts. Look at their ability. Francisco can use his ability twice, and Fabiola can use her ability twice also. Oops, that was a wrong token, that's a green token. Whereas Johann can only use it once. We're going to get rid of all of the other receptacles. We need to now calculate our faith level. So we have 2. So we're believers because we have 2 believer plus. So we have 2, so that would be believer virtuous. And since we have 1 non-believer, we are at 1. So we're believers. Okay. Now let's open the beach. The cards feel different. Let's just check. No, probably not. But actually from Asylum we've got this one, whatever this is. And we've got a pink token, which we can use. So. Oops. Okay, I have a problem because there are cards missing. Okay, guys, we have an issue. The beach should have A, B, D, should have many more. Ah, that's why they feel so strange. They're sticking together. Okay. Okay. Crisis over. Let's see. So this is beach B. This is beach C. This is beach D and E and F. That's correct. So, oh, that's actually a very nice panorama. We've got a wagon over here, priest, somebody baptizing someone else or maybe absolving them, some knights, and some Moors. Let's see. You can't keep your eyes open. A dazzling light blinds you, leaving the sound of the waves and the cries of the seagulls to fill your mind. Your eyelids finally rise and you discover the sea stretching as far as the eye can see and overhanging the sturdy fortress of Pensacola. It says Peniscola, but that's probably wrong. Peniscola. You get off your mounts. On your left, His Eminence's luggage are crammed into the back of this wagon. Meanwhile, the papal legate exchanges a few words with a crusader kneeling before him. In the center, 2 knights from the fortress approach your delegation, and on the beach, several cellars and Bedouin tents swamp the outskirts of the village, sprawling away from the foot of the castle. Very good. So, we have our dowels. Fabiola will be pink. Johann will be blue, and Francisco will be green. So let's think about this for a moment. I think we should send Francisco to speak to to go over here. We should send the lady over here, and this we're going to send the knight to speak to the knights. Let's see what Francisco sees. The legate's personal items are piled up in the back of the carriage, including a half-open chest which is under the guard's watchful eye. You can try to search the chest, but you must be at least 2 agents. Okay, so there's nothing we can do. But in one single TU, 1 or more agents distract the guards. You need 4 persuasion or diplomacy. If the previous action is successful, the other agents can search in the same TU. If you pass the search test, you take items 4 and 5. If Francisco is on the space, he can take alone items 4 and 5 without making the tests. Okay, so in this case we can actually do this because he is there and he is alone. That's good. But we would lower our piety. Let's see what happens to the lady. You have been missioned to escort Michel d'Ailly, the papal legate, who's blessing a Knight Templar kneeling before him, a blessing given in Latin as is only proper. Once the anointing is over, the Knight Templar rises with tears in his eyes and the legate turns to you. I've been waiting for you. Let's go. Take item 1. And item 1 is Michel d'Ailly. It's him. We actually get him. This card represents an ally that accompanies a single receptacle. Upon getting it, the group becomes pious. Very good. Objective. Michel d'Ailly is in Peniscola to find a certain Adhemar de Vignon. Ability. The legate is a representative of the Pope in charge of a mission of the utmost importance. Michel d'Ailly is therefore highly respected for his piety. Each diplomacy test made by the accompanying receptacle gains 2. Since she's already very diplomatic, that's a very good thing. Leaving the group. Michel leaves the group only if the accompanying receptacle makes a test which causes the faith marker to go down. The group gets to the infidel or heretic degree. Okay. Okay. And lastly, the knight. The knight approaches you with his squire. Nice view, isn't it? I'm Rodrigo de Campo, Knight of the Order of Montesa. This castle, which belonged to the Knights Templar and where your delegation goes, was entrusted to my order by Pope John the 22nd, more than a century ago. Well, I'm not here to teach you history. As soon as the legate is ready, we will accompany you to the chapter house. Behind his shoulder, you see a felucca, a wooden sailing boat docking near the castle walls. That's here. Okay, so now we're going to take items 4 and 5 without doing the test, but we're going to lose 1 time unit because we've got Francisco. We're going to go down 1, but since it's Francisco, not Fabiola, Michel will not leave us because it's not the receptacle he's accompanying. So let's see what we get, and these others are going to go over here and over here just for the laughs. Let's see 2 and let's get 4 and 5 first, because obviously that's the new TU. 4 and 5. They are really sticky. Item 4 is Lumen Fidei, a copy of the papal bull lifting the vow of silence from Lord Adhemar de Vignon. Lumen Fidei. We, Pope Martin V, hereby liberate Adhemar de Vignon from the vow of silence weighing on him, so that he can reveal in the presence of the legate Michel d'Ailly any knowledge he has on the matter on which the legate will question him. And that's a plan. Plan of Acre. Okay. we're gonna keep these two, and they're with Francisco. So let's reveal these two cards. A blind old Moor calls out to you, waving his stick. Assalamu alaikum, strangers. I can no longer see the sun, but I can see the darkness gathering about you. Come, sit down so we can chat. After several glasses of tea and other courtesies, you spot a beautifully crafted dagger behind him. You could easily steal the weapon. No, we're not going to try that. He's blind, we're not going to steal from the blind. Even if Fabiola is an evil bitch. But she's also with Michelle, and Michelle would leave the company if we did, and also we don't steal from the blind. Assalamu alaikum, my name is Tariq Ibn Zaid. What are you looking for, Crusader? Love, fortune, health? Here to show you that these lands are friendly, let me offer you tea. Take a seat, let's talk. See, I come from the other side of the sea, from Maghreb al-Aqsa. I'm a merchant, but my greatest pleasure is to come across other cultures. It was my mentor, a Christian philosopher and poet at heart, who opened my eyes to the obscurantism that can seize us at any moment. Sit down. If you wish to drink a tea and speak with the Moor, spend 2 time units. Then take item 2. Okay, so this is our first run, and we are going to explore whatever we can. We're going to spend 2 time units, and we're going to take item 2. And item 2 is... After a long discussion on the beach, Tariq tells you that he is looking for his friend T.I.M.E, a Christian lost from sight too long ago. He then gives you a vial containing some St. Boniface ointment. He adds, in case you meet his friend, give him this ointment, he'll understand. St. Boniface ointment. Place 1 blue token on this card. At any time you can gain back an ability token without exceeding your maximum. Take the 1 and place it on your receptacle, then discard this card for the run. Okay, well, that's nice, but it's probably not going to be worth spending 2 time units. We'll see. Okay, so we now need to go to the chapter house. That's the only place where we can go. So we're going to close this location. We're going to roll the evil time die. We rolled a 3, of course. 1, 2, 3. So we only have 4 time units left. Chapter house A, B, C, and D. Under a blazing sun, you and the 2 knights you met on the beach enter the castle. After showing you your rooms, your hosts take you to a large, cool room with walls covered in arabesques and azulejos. Upon your entrance, faces turn and stare. Time stops. After a nod from your host, conversations resume once again between the different characters. The Grand Master of the Order of Montesa, Romero de Corbera, turns his eyes towards you and beckons you to approach. At his side, a man with a deeply lined and weary face looks at you scornfully. You seem to have interrupted his tirade. In the distance, you discover the face of Clément de Gibelline, Grand Hospitaller, who came from Rhodes on the same delegation as you. Okay, we're going to send the lady to the Grand Hospitaller. We're going to send the brute to face this guy, and we're going to send our little monk to face this guy. Your host, the Grand Master Romero de Corbera, beckons you to come closer. The council will begin tomorrow morning. We are still waiting for a few guests. We must imperatively find a solution to these exchanges of fortresses between our different orders. You must be exhausted from your journey. Please, while waiting for the council, the castle is yours. Take item 3, which is a map. I kind of expected this. Oh, we've got an underground passage, a scriptorium, and stables. I'm going to put it here. We're going to lose it anyway because that's not going to stay with us. Let's see what this guy wants. Buenos dias, I am Alvaro de Luna, Master of the Order of Santiago. I have had a long journey from my castle in Segura de la Sierra, and I am impatient for this council to start. We all know that our decisions will be of capital importance. Siesta before you go to inspect my men, and my gift to you that rests in the cool in the stable. Go on, leave me now. As he looks away, a ring falls from his pocket. Only one agent can make a test in order to pick up the ring, one attempt only. On a failed test, the agent is immediately noticed and mauled by Alvaro's men. This would be something for Francisco, so on our next run we're going to try and get the ring. Chapter House. Clemente de Gibelin, Grand Hospitaller, I was expecting you. Do you have the maps of Acre as agreed? They are essential to me. They will help me decide whether or not I shall try to conquer the city upon my return from the Holy Land. This meeting is only a pretext. Everyone is here for the same reason. As previously discussed, the city maps in exchange for information about the stone. If you accept Clemente de Gibelin's proposal, discard item 5 and then take item 20. Okay, we're going to discard item 5 and we're going to take item 20. The Scroll of Antioch. Thus, when Lucifer was thrown into the abyss, the stone he carried on his forehead fell into the Garden of Eden. Adam offered it to Lilith, his first wife. Then, as she considered herself to be the equal of Adam, Lilith fled from Eden, for she refused to be submissive. In her flight, she took the stone, and calling upon the Lord, she grew wings and abandoned Adam and Eden. Faced with Adam's complaints, God sent 3 angels to convince Lilith to come back. She refused to obey their command. To punish her, God condemned her to see all her children die at birth. Fleeing, she encountered the demon Samael, and she settled with him in the valley of Yahanam. The demon took the name of Adam Belial and taught Lilith the powers of the stone. Yeah, I feel right at home. Okay, so now we're going to check out the stables because we were promised a gift and we're going to see what that gift is. So we're going to move to the stables. I'm going to roll the time die. So we get the map of him, don't we? Yeah. Okay, so we need to visit every single one of these places on our run because we get stuff. So we spend 2 time. We're in the stables. Oh dear. There are 2 that we can't do if we don't have the relevant information. So let's see. Note, all of you must visit card B before going to the other cards. Okay, we can do this. In this vast stable, 3 knights of the Order of Santiago stand guard around a beautifully crafted wagon. Behind the gratings of one of the wagon's doors, you can see the face of an old man who beckons you to approach. From the back of the carriage emanates an intoxicating fragrance, a subtle blend of musk and myrtle. Okay, let's go there and see what happens. Oh my word. The Knights of Santiago, obviously drunk, draw their weapons and approach. One of them shouts, go away, or you will pay for it. Another, in a steadier voice, cuts in, ask them to bring us some more plonk. Raoul probably collapsed before finding the reserve. You can avoid combat by immediately leaving this location. Otherwise, once you have passed one of the tests, okay, we're going to leave this location. Okay, we can run away from the stables, and that's what we're going to do because we're still in the exploratory phase, so we know now we will be fighting or give them number 10. Let's check out the scriptorium. If we roll a 2 or higher, the run ends. We don't. Good luck. Okay, we've only got 2 cards. After a long moment in front of the scriptorium's door, a stooped monk in search of his bunch of keys looks at you suspiciously through the half-open door. Is this door never closed? Well, come in. If you are here, it must be for a good reason. The man turns around and wanders over to his occupations. You then enter a poorly lit room filled with shelves piled high with books. On the left side, a table is crammed with parchments and books of all kinds, and a human skull is used as a paperweight. On the right side, a young monk stands working at his lectern under a candle light. Okay, I suppose we will send our young monk, Francisco, to talk to this one. We're not going to send the woman because she might actually, distract him, and that would be not a good idea. So let's see what happens. Parchments in Greek, Arabic, and Latin are piled up on the shelves and the table. After a few seconds of searching through these piles of paper, your eyes are drawn to a small dusty chest. You can try to force open this chest. If we do this, Michelle will leave us, so we can't do it. Because we only have 1 dexterity here, and you have 3 shields, so it would take us more time than we have. Because she can't help, because then he will leave us. Let's see what happens here. The young copyist monk seems to be applying himself to finalizing a parchment. Do not put your dirty hands on my masterpieces. Here we can find texts dating back to the capture of Jerusalem. But you are not from the citadel, are you? If you sleep here tonight, I advise you not to visit the underground passages. After nightfall, the atmosphere is rather peculiar. You can try reading over his shoulder. If you pass the test, take item 25. We're going to try and read over his shoulder. We have 1. Oh, sorry, we can't because then we're at 0 and we failed. Mission failed time units. You can't win this in 10 time units. It seems you still have a little trouble with the new TD guidelines. Well, yeah, it's only natural. It can be unsettling at first, but it does allow for a real energy saving, increasing the success levels by 8.42%. Okay, snuggle in your caissons. We'll relaunch a transfer. Reset the time. Discarded items, cards, items, receptacles, initial faith, capacity. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, and 20. Okay. Can just leave this open. So now we have 20 time units. We're not going to talk to the Bedouin guy because that's not going to really help us, and spend 2 time units to get this stuff off him. And we're back at the beach. So we're going to send Francisco. We're going to gain items 4 and 5. We're gonna get him and be pious. Nothing happens. I'm gonna spend 1 time unit. can reveal this one. Oh yeah, we could steal from him. We're not going to do this. Okay. So, we're going to go to the beach. We're going to go to the chapter house. Roll the time die. 2. We're going to send Francisco here. We're going to take item 3. We're going to take item 5 and discard. Sorry, we're going to discard item 5 and take item 20. And we are going to try a test of dexterity. We have 4. And we have 2 successes. We're going to spend 1 more time unit. And we pass. And we take item 9. But we're also going to lower our faith. A seal ring. A seal ring stolen from Sir Alvaro's chapter house, the Grand Master of the Santiago Templar Order. We'll see if this does anything for you, because we've had people in the past finding stuff that is on the box of the game and they mean nothing. So we'll see. Okay, so going to the stables wasn't such a good idea because we would be beaten up. So what we're going to do is we are going let's go to the underground passage because we didn't get there the first time around. 2 times time units spent. Up, up, up. We have 3 that we can't access. Oh yeah, we have to roll 2. By a flight of deeply worn stone steps, you penetrate the bowels of the castle. Very quickly, the tunnel splits into 2. The first one seems to sink deeper and deeper towards the sea. You perceive the sound of crashing waves in the distance, and the walls drip with saline moisture. The other tunnel opposite you leads to a row of filthy cells. On your right, there is a vaulted room that is apparently disused, if the cobwebs are anything to go by. There are traces of footsteps in the dust on the ground. Okay, I would say that I don't want the group to split up. We're going to go together. Aha! After a few minutes going down the flights of steps, you come across black-clad warriors. They rush at you, scimitars and shields in their hands. Aha, fight. Okay, so we have 7 shields. and 1 heart shield. Okay, now something that I did wrong when I played the Asylum. If you are in combat on a space, if you do not do anything, you take damage immediately. The reposting happens automatically. So Johann is going to discard his 1 icon, because I think we actually want to get rid of this, so he can remove this pile automatically. And he's not affected by this. Oh no, sorry, that's not his ability. Okay, so he's not affected by this, which is good because he only has 3 resistance and we have 4, we have 7 shields. Okay, that's good. He does 5 points of damage. So 5 shields go away. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a repost for 3 in total, but that's equal to his resistance, so nothing happens. Next up is Fabiola de Leon. And she's gonna roll a die. She will take 1 wound. And she's dead. Because she reposts, so that's 3. Her resistance is 1, so she takes 2 damage, so she's dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next up is our friend Francisco. He also reposts and is dead. Yeah. Which leaves our friend. And he removes 1 shield. He reposts 1, 2, 3, 4. He takes 1 damage for the heart shield, and he takes 1 more damage for the repost. And then he rolls again. And he takes 1 more damage. We roll really badly, we lose 1 more time unit. And he destroys this challenge. That was costly, so we now know that we shouldn't go here because obviously nothing positive comes off of this one. There is nothing there that we need to do. We don't gain anything. They're dead. So now we're going to lose a time unit or spend a time unit to move here. So we're now at 7 time units. An emaciated old man turns as you approach. Chained up, he's frightened by the sight of you and crouches in the back of his cell, emitting soft, high-pitched noises. Soon, the only thing you can see is in the... What happens? Does Michel actually leave? Okay. No, he's still there. So now he's moving in with Johann because obviously Fabiola is dead. Soon the only thing you can see is in the back of the room is the glowing of white eyes. If Michel Dailly is on this space, immediately reveal this card. Well, he is, because obviously he doesn't leave the group if the receptacle... Oh. It doesn't say that he leaves the group if the receptacle here... Well, yeah, he does. He leaves the group because the receptacle he was accompanying is dead. So he's not there, so I get to reveal this. As you recite the last words of the Lumen Fidei, the old man crosses the room, sticks his head between the bars and starts speaking. I have waited for so long. I am Ademar de Vignon. Oh, wow! I was a Knight Templar known for my faith. While defending the temple tower, I was defeated by Sal Kalhula and the Sultan's Black Guard. When the last line faltered, Saul challenged me to a fight to the death. Time dried out my mouth, so have mercy and spare me these efforts. Let one of you come closer and listen to the end of my story. To get closer, one and only one agent must place... Okay. We don't spend a time unit for this because it said reveal immediately. So we're gonna put this green token. And we read this. The man stares at you with colorless eyes. You feel something blocking your mind, as if the telepathy between agents had vanished. You cannot share the remaining content of this card with the other players. This card is for your eyes only. The man asks you to bring your ear even closer to the bars. He whispers, I am Adhemar de Vignon, born in 1081. Oh wow, this guy is really old. But my story started in 1096 when Saul Calhula challenged me. I was only defeated after a long combat. He retributed me by making me his slave, a son of Cain. I know that Saul is still alive and holds the emerald. Find him for me. You will now act on our behalf without saying a word to the agency. The man whispers his last words into the hollow of your ear. Then take item 11. Okay. Okay, let's see what this means. Item 11. Note, only the agent who has accessed this item may read it, and even after finishing the scenario. Woohoo! The breath of your interlocutor moves from your ear and gets close to your neck. You then undergo a strange sensation, a mix of pain and pleasure, lightheaded, ear-ringing. 2 blood drops slide down your neck. You wipe them off with the back of your hand. A few seconds later, telepathy seems to be operational again. From now on, and for the rest of this mission, each time the group has the option of taking a black token or revealing a sealed card with a black state token, try to persuade the other agents that this choice is the best. Be careful, don't overdo it, otherwise their suspicion will be aroused. If they ask you what happened, tell them that Adhemar de Vignon whispered his sins in your ear, confessing. That's interesting because obviously I'm playing solo. So this is one of the scenarios where playing solo is a bit problematic. Okay, well, what I will do is I will roll a die instead. On an odd number, we will go with the black token. On an even number, we will go with the non-black token. So, if we have a choice, then I will roll a die and then we'll see what happens. Okay. We shouldn't go to the stables because we're facing a fight there and we are badly hurt. We can go to the scriptorium because we kind of need to pass some time. And we end up still without the other agents. We're going to try and read over his shoulder. Our dexterity is 1. We fail, we spend 1 more, and we pass 1. We spend 1 more and the others return, and we pass. We take item 25. Item 25 is the passage. Read over the shoulder is, in those days prophets went from Jerusalem to Antioch. One of them had a vision. I see and I know. My eyes read read in heavens what will be, sorry, my eyes read in heavens what will be, and I cross time in a single step. A hand guides me to what you can neither see, know, nor know. The one that fell and was hidden will be found by the adversary. He will wait for the light to be veiled, by the moon shadow to reveal his true nature and bring forth the stone. I see and I know what will be. I am the scribe. Okay, that's interesting, although we don't really need to know. I mean, it's enough to know this. We don't get an item. So we're now going to go here for 1 time unit, because we can do something here as well, and actually faith goes down. You can try to force open this chest, and we will do this because we don't have the guy with us anymore because he's already left. And we also don't need him anymore because we have found the other guy. So we're gonna spend 1 time unit and we're gonna roll 4. And Francisco rolls 4 successes. We only needed 2. We're gonna get item 25. So we're going to get item 6. A passage in a book found in the scriptorium's chest. We, the Inquisition Tribunal, in this year 1125, received the sincere repentance and given the holy actions of the one who participated in the liberation of Christ's tomb in 1099, companion of the First Crusade alongside Godefroy de Bouillon and Raymond de Saint-Gilles. We, the Inquisition Tribunal, sentence Ademar de Vignon, born in 1081, to immutable imprisonment and eternal silence. May he await for the final judgment and God's forgiveness. Okay, so essentially, the only thing that we haven't done is there's one place in the underground passage that we didn't see, and we need to go to the stables. So we now have 1 more time token. Regardless of what we do, we've lost this, so we go back, and now we have 30 on every subsequent run. So we take back all of the relevant items. We don't need to go to the scriptorium anymore because there's nothing to gain there, only knowledge, and we've seen that. It's we find out that this guy should already be dead, but we see that because he tells us this anyway. So not much there anyway. So fighting those guys in the catacombs doesn't help us anyway because there isn't anything to be gained there. They just basically beat us up, and really badly too. So we're going to get rid of this. And we're going to close the scriptorium because we don't need this. So basically we have the stables to explore. And we have the one thing in the underground passage where we didn't go. Good. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to recharge my camera and then I'll be right back. So here we are back and we are back at the beach. This is now our 3rd run. We now have 10 more time units, so we are now at 30. We're going to do what we did the last time. So here we are going to get Francisco to simply obtain items 4 and 5. We're going to get our friend Michelle, and here we're just gonna do some flavor text which doesn't do anything. That's all we're going to do. Then we're going to roll the die for for 2 time units, so we're now at 27 and we'll go to the chapter house. And we are now pious because we've got Michelle with us. So we are going to get Francisco to go here so that he can snatch the information, the ring. So here we are. We're going to take item 3, which is the plan, which we're going to add. We're going to pass this test. Oops. And he rolls 4, so he even does it on his first try. We do become virtuous, and we get items 4 and 5. No, sorry, we get item 9, which is the ring. We're going to exchange the plan of Acre for item 20, which is the scroll of Antioch. We don't need to go to the scriptorium because we already know what we're going to be told then. It's not really that interesting. We are going to go back to the catacombs underground passage, where we're going to meet the undead guy. This time around we will have Michelle with us. We didn't have Michelle with us on the last try, which was kind of a bit of a problem because we ended up being I guess brainwashed. So we are not going to go here because that's going to be a fight. We're going to go here to the cell. And we're going to check out this card because we never had it before. So let's see. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. If Michelle is in the group, immediately reveal this card. As T.I.M.E recites the last words of the Lumen Fidei, holding his palms towards the sky, the old man is pinned to the wall by an invisible force and screams, "I have waited for so long, and I am indeed the one you are looking for. I was a Knight Templar, known for my faith and loyalty even to my enemies. While defending the temple tower during the fall of Antioch, I was defeated by Saul Calhula and the Sultan's Black Guard. When the last line faltered, Saul challenged me to fight to the death. After a long combat, I fell on my knees. In exchange for my life, I accepted his mercy and his pact. I know Saul is still alive and holds the emerald. Cursed be his name." T.I.M.E then turns his hands towards the ground. The glimmer of eyes perceived in the back of the dungeon fades away with the old man's last words. We now become pious. We're now going to check out this one. You push the door and discover a cellar. There is a broken jar of wine in the center of the room. Your eyes are drawn to the corpse of a knight of the Order of Santiago, hidden behind a barrel. His death seems recent. You inspect the corpse and the scene. If you inspect the corpse and the scene, take items 7 and 10. Yeah, so we're going to spend a time unit for this. Item 7 is a key. And item 10, a carafe of wine, is found in the underground passages on a small table beside a corpse. Judging from the goblets near the carafe, it would seem that 2 people were tasting the castle wines. One of them is on the ground, his face marked with fear and his right hand cut off, leaving a pool of blood. A gold key engraved with incomprehensible symbols found on a corpse in the underground passage. Okay, So we're going to give this to Johann Krieg. Next up, we're going to go to the stables. And I remember that the guys there were waiting for somebody to ply them with drink. And since we now have wine, we may actually be able to get out of there without a fight. So let's see how much time we're going to spend on this too. So we're now at 22 stables. Whoops. Good. If you have item 10, you can discard it to bribe the guards. Okay, so first of all, we do have item 10, which is the wine. And then we need to roll diplomacy. And since we've got our friend Michelle with us, we roll 2 more dice. Let me see. Yeah. Each diplomacy test made by the accompanying receptacle gains 2 successes. Okay, so she's going to roll 4 because that's Fabiola. He's accompanying her. We have 3 shields. We have 2 successes already. So we're going to spend 1 time unit on this. And we have 2, 4 more, so we easily win. We don't have to go there again this run. So we can kind of do it like this. So we're now going to go here. No, this way. Let's see. As you approach, the old man pushes his face against the bars. Shalom, I'm called Melchizedek. I am a scholar and philosopher and a prisoner. I want to get back to my family. For pity's sake, get me out of here. To release Melchizedek, you need to have key number 7, which we do. Take the token once the man is released. Sorry, we lost 1 time unit doing this. So we're going to discard this. We're now at 20. So far we're not doing too badly. And we're going to get the grey token. Which we're going to put here. Here we see behind an elegant grating, you see a striking woman with a piercing look. Hello, stranger. My name is Yasmina. I am the favorite of the Regent Ali al-Aminth, Vizier of Granada. I was kidnapped by these scoundrels of the Order of Santiago, whose faith is only in appearance. Ask the old Jew to open this door. He's the only one who can do it. Free me, and I will tell you what you want to know, for I know who you are, and you are dying to know more about me. I'm not so sure, darling. Okay, now that we've got the grey token, we can actually go here. So we're going to move this 1, and everybody needs to go here. And we're going to reveal this card. We're now at timed code 19. You release the old man. On the orders of Lord Alvaro, I infiltrated the Granada Palace as an astrologer of the Vizier and Regent Ali al-Amin's. What do I want? To learn more about the stone. This is how I became aware of the existence of Yasmina, the Jinaya. Thanks to my knowledge of the Kabbalah, oh, he's like Madonna, I managed to control her. That's why Alvaro locked me up here. Come on, follow me and let's free her. You will see she's very talkative. Okay, sorry, he's there to control her and he wants to free her. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Melchizedek heads towards the rear of the carriage. After a few words in a strange tongue, the door opens on its own, revealing Yasmina. Oh, guess we don't have a chance. If Michel Dailly is with the group, immediately reveal the card. He is. So we lose 1 time unit. As the woman emerges at a supernatural speed, Michel Dailly steps between your group and Yasmina, forming a cross with 2 fingers. Vade retro satanas. If you could stop these stupidities, the woman replies, only your agents can believe in them. Instead, you should confess we are all here for the same reason and admit the consortium doesn't like competition. Ah, the consortium. That's us. especially with the scions. Silence! Come on, let's continue our mission and ignore this mad woman, says the legate, who orders you to follow him. Indifferent to Dai, Yasmina looks at you. He will never acknowledge it, but he's an agent too, in a receptacle like you. I am a scion. We saw those guys in... I think the scions were the guys who tried to open a fault in the Prophecy of Dragons. I thought they were evil, but they don't seem to be. One of the famous big villains. Oh yeah, she even says it. In a receptacle, just like you. Now the choice is yours. No one will ever know. Allow me to come along and let's continue our mission. Michel Dai cannot cohabit with Yasmina. Either you keep Michel Dai or you discard him and take item 12 to recruit Yasmina into your group. What do you think? I'm all for exploring. I mean, I'm all for, here's a historical fact that people tend to forget. During the Arabic ownership of the Iberian Peninsula of Spain, it was one of the most tolerant countries ever. It was the reason that Islamic scholars wanted to keep alive the knowledge of the ancients, namely the Greeks and the Romans, which the Catholic Church had tried to suppress because those were the infidels. They were not Christians. Of course, the Romans and Greeks weren't, which is why the Catholic Church tried to suppress their writings, but it was the Muslims who wanted to keep the knowledge, and they founded the so-called translation movement. And in what is today, and what was then even as well Spain, there was a tradition of learning and of translation. So you would have had people translating from the Roman and the Greek into Hebrew, into Arabic, and also from Hebrew into Arabic. And a lot of the ancient writings are only known to us either because they were preserved in Byzantium, East Rome, or because they had been translated into Arabic and put into the huge libraries of the Caliphate states. So at that stage, before the Reconquista, actually Spain was quite at least the Arabic part of Spain, was very, very tolerant. People could follow their different religions, the Jews and the Christians as well, and while they had to pay tax, probably even more than the Muslims, they were free to worship and to interact with each other, which is why I'm going to go in the spirit of learning about others and tolerance. I'm going to go with this lady who is supposed to be our enemy, because I really want to find out more about those scions. So we're gonna get rid of him and we're gonna recruit this lady, a Jinaya, a female jinn. This card represents an ally that accompanies a receptacle. Upon getting it, the faith of the group becomes heretic. Oh God, my word. If she's to be believed, Wa Khalaka is a scion transferred into Yasmina's receptacle for a mission identical to yours, to find the stone of Lilith. Saul Calhula, one of Lilith's sons, who with his blackguard recovered the emerald from Simon of Antioch's vault, and then settled in the kingdom of Al-Andalus, spreading his unhealthy influence. Conflagration. Yasmina is a Jinaya. She can set an enemy on fire and turn him into ashes with a simple breath. Place 2 ability tokens on this card. Anytime during a combat on her space, you may discard 1 ability token to roll a die without spending any TU. Each success removes a pile of shields. A skull results in the loss of 1 heart for each agent on that space. Wow, this woman is powerful. Okay, so we're gonna give her to Fabiola. So I'm pretty sure the ladies will get on like a house on fire. She's gonna get 2 of these ability tokens. And we are going to close this location and we're going to open location 2 without rolling the time die. Location 2. Oh my word. Okay. And we can only go to this, we have to discard it once we've visited it. You are still in the stable when a flaming arrow pierces the night and ends in Melchizedek's chest. Oh my God, they killed the old man. The horses bolt and rush out, dragging the wagon in their wake. An immense clamor rises throughout the fortress. Shadows appear from all sides, slaughtering and massacring the garrison. On the staircase of the courtyard, the sentries are fighting to contain the black guards emerging from the underground passages. That's the guys we met before. They are bad. In the center, the portcullis of the castle has been lowered, thus preventing any chance of escape. On the right, the frightened horses flee the fire raging in the stable and appear to be uncontrollable. Okay. Oh, we have to go here. It's got this symbol. Let's just check, but I'm pretty sure when you see the symbol, you have to go there. Yep, at least one agent must place themselves on this corresponding card as soon as the location is opened. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to assign her, our Jinn, to Johann, because she can fight with him and he can take damage if she basically, if things go south. So Johann's going to go here. And let's put these two over here. Yeah. 2 black guards face you, a glimmer of madness in their eyes. They throw themselves at you with staggering speed, scimitars in their hands. You must fight. And what happens here? Whoops, didn't see that. Actually, I didn't. The horses harnessed to the carriage are frenzied. You need all your dexterity and self-control to calm them down and regain control of the carriage. To bring the horses under control, you need to... That's very good. So we need to pass dexterity here, and we are pretty dexterous, but we do take a wound. So let's see, and then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 heart. Do we want to use a special ability to ignore... sorry, that's the wrong shield. To ignore... Oh, come on. To ignore this shield, do we or don't we? I don't think we should, because it's... I don't think we should. So we're going to use up 1 time unit. And we're also not going to activate her just now. So let's try and see. He's got 4 fight. Let's see what we can see. Oh yes, he removes 3. There is a repost, but it's only 3 shields, 3 skulls, so he's fine, but he still loses 1 heart. That's okay, we're going to put this back in the box. And then over here, we're going to use our dexterity. So first, we're going to let Francisco roll. And he fails completely, so he does take 1 wound. And now our lady is going to roll. No, yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. And she rolls 2 successes. That's good, but she also takes 1 wound. It's not so good, so she's only got 1 life left. And we're going to use 1 more time unit. 4. Yes, easily. Wow. Done. So this is done. So what we're going to do is to signal that we're done, we're going to just turn this upside down. and we're going to roll over here. Francisco goes first, and that's enough. So we've passed this test, and we're going to get this token. We're going to spend one more time unit, and we're going to go here, all of us. I'm going to turn this upside down, and here we are. Aha. As the fighting intensifies in the courtyard, you find in an alcove the mechanism to raise the portcullis. It's a dexterity check with 2 shields, and if we pass, we're going to open the portcullis. So we're going to spend a time unit for this. And Francisco is going to roll first. And we pass immediately with, on 4 dice, he only rolled 2 successes. That's not too good, but okay. It's not brilliant. So we take this token. And now we've got all the tokens that we require to go here. So we're going to move over here and remove and go down to 13. You barely manage to escape from the castle, ravaged by flames and never-ending waves of black-clad warriors. Melchizedek, mortally wounded by a Saracen arrow, releases the reins. In his last breath, he painfully indicates you the way to Granada and advises you to first go to the priory of Father Rodrigo. Open the chapter 2 deck and immediately read the instructions on the back of the first card. Okay. I think this couldn't have gone much better because we didn't really waste much time. So we're now down to 13 remaining time units. But I think we actually didn't do too badly because I don't think we could have done this more quickly.